Brothers and sisters, every once in a while, I go to my doctor for a checkup. My doctor has to be the most positive doctor in the world. Whenever he sees me, he says, "Mr. Wahaj, your pressure is good. Your weight is good. Your heartbeat." And you know, when I'm finished, I feel so good. Honestly, he is very positive. But I want to see if you're like me. Doctor, I like that, but give it to me straight. Would you prefer the doctor to make you feel good or give it to you straight? Straight. So can I give it to you straight this morning? Yes. Or you want me to make you feel good? You have to tell me now. Straight? 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 Inshallah. Remember, you asked for it. I was in Atlanta and I ran into a Muslim doctor, Dr. Niazi. He's a cardiologist. And he was agitated that day. He said, "Imam Siraj, Muslims have 3 enemies." And he told me the 3 enemies, I'm going to tell you 2. The third one, I'm not going to tell you unless you ask me personally. You come to me and say, "Imam, what was the third one?" I will tell you. But I'm going to mention 2. He said, number 1, sugar is an enemy to Muslims and man. Sugar. We have anyone here from Sudan? Good, good, good. The Sudanese, they never put sugar in their coffee. They put coffee in their sugar. Ask them. So number 1, you want to be careful of sugar and diabetes. Number 2, salt. You can use it, but not too much. And the third one, I'm not going to tell you unless you ask me personally. So we're here, Muslims. I read a book by Paul Sperry called Infiltration. And in his book, he said, the problem isn't the misinterpretation of the Quran, the problem is the Quran. Of course, we differ with that. As a Muslim, the problem is not Allah. It's not the Quran. It's not the Prophet, ﷺ. It's not Hadith. But the problem is us, who supposed to represent Islam. One of the people that I studied is a man, his name is Arnold Toynbee. Arnold Toynbee is the greatest historian of our modern time, and I want to quote something that he said, Arnold Toynbee. Listen to this, and there's 2 parts of it. Listen to the first part. He said, the solution to all international conflicts lies only in embracing Islam en masse. He wrote a 12-volume book called The History of the World, thousands of pages. Not a Muslim. And yet he say, I'm going to say it again, the solution to some of the problems, most of them, the majority of them, no. The solution to all international conflicts lies only in embracing Islam en masse. But listen to the second part. Because Islam is the only religion that can transcend nationalism. Islam, the only religion that can transcend nationalism. We call it asabiyya. It ain't about my country, my race, my color, my ethnicity, my nationality. No. It's about Allah and His Messenger. It's about the truth. He said Islam is the only religion that can transcend nationalism. Now listen to this part. This is what we're going to talk about. I see with great dismay that nationalism is gaining grounds even among the bearers of the Quran. Problem ain't the Quran, it's not the Quran, it's not Allah, it's not the Messenger, it's not Sunnah, it's not Hadith. The bearers of Quran, that's you and I will hope for the day when all humanity will break this idol and unite as the children of God. The book is easy. Someone came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Men akramun nas, who is the most honorable of man? This is people, that's the nature of people. They want to know honor, they want izzah, they want to know who's the most honorable. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Atqahum lillah, atqahum lillah. Those who fear Allah the most righteous, those are the most honorable. And you know the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, when he speaks, he doesn't speak at his own desire, he speaks from Quran, revelation. إِنَّا خَلَقَنَاكُم مِّن ذَكَرٍ وَأُنثَىٰ وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِندَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. Nations and tribes all over, different ethnicities, different colors, all of this. And verily, the most honorable of you are those who fear Allah the most, not your skin color, not your language. How many of you, your natural language or your home language, your mother language is Arabic? Raise your hand. Look around. Good. How many, your mother tongue is not Arabic? Raise your hand. 7,000 languages around the world. 7,000. 7,000 languages. People, different colors and ethnicities, nationalities, born in different countries, but for us as a Muslim, it don't make a difference. I don't care what country you're from. You're a Muslim because the Prophet ﷺ said, "La tadkhulu jannah hatta tu'minu." You will not go to Jannah until you believe. Wa la tu'minu hatta tahabbu. Thank you, Sheikh. And you will not believe until you love one another. My question this morning is, do you love one another? You're not talking to me no more? You love one another? You sure? Excuse me, brother. Do you know him? You know him. Do you know him? Huh? Do you know him? No, good. Do you love him? Why? You don't know him. Why you love him? Oh, for the sake of Allah. That's exactly correct. Aina mutahabbuna bi jalali. Allah asks the question, where are those who love for my glory? This day, Yawm al-Qiyamah, I shall shade him with a shade, him or her. I will shade them in my shade in a day when there's no shade except my shade. Why? They love each other just for me. So even though that person you see there, I don't like the way they look. I don't like the way they talk. They talk that funny language. But you love them for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what this conference is all about, meeting different people. So we got some problems. I studied demographics, and I'm going to show you some of my training in demographics and how it would help us, inshallah. If you study the Western world, you will see right now, and Arnold Toynbee, he said, of the 22 civilizations that appeared, 19 of them collapsed when they reached the moral state that the United States is in now. So you got a big job to do. Our country, and I don't say this in any mocking way, this is my country. Our country literally is dead man walking. We have gone so far from Allah the Almighty. لَتَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ. Do not be like those who forgot Allah. Therefore, Allah made them forget themselves. This is what's happening around in the West, in the world. And you have to study demographics. What's going on? What's going on in America? Why the white nationalists so excited in America and around the world? Because the demographics is changing drastically. Italy, according to the trends, by 2060 or 2050, 60% of the Italians will have no brothers, no sisters, no uncles, no aunts, and no cousins. The population of Europe is shrinking. Let me give you a couple examples. And Russia. Population of Russia now is about 133 million. Same trend, by 2050, it'll be 125 million. See? Not because of wars, not because killing nobody. And this is why Arnold Toynbee said that civilizations are not murdered, they commit suicide. Germany, population presently 80 million. By 2050, 78 million. See the trend? Italy, 55 million. By 2050, 52 million. Muslims, on the other hand, look at the difference. Somebody give me any Muslim country, say it loud. Huh? Ethiopia? Okay, good. Pakistan. What? What'd I do? Pakistan, who's here from Pakistan? I want to let you know I love you. People used to ask me, what's your favorite food? I would say Pakistani food. Until I went to Turkey. You know, a Pakistani family invited me for dinner, and I was really excited, man, give me some good Pakistani food. And so when it's time to serve the dinner, my guest said, Imam Siraj, in honor of you, today we made American food. Not good. Pakistan, population 204 million. By 2050, 344 million. Who here from Bangladesh? MashaAllah. Population of Bangladesh, 183 million. By 2050, it will be 265 million. How many here from Turkey? Population of Turkey, 79 million. By 2050, I gotta read that again, make sure it's not a typo. 98 million? Are you kidding me? You better check and see if this is accurate, man. So, brothers and sisters, let me tell you the truth. This world right now is in disaster mode. You can make a difference. Brotherhood. Let me tell you something about the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him. He told us that every prophet was sent to his people. وَإِذْ قَالَ مُوسَى لِقَوْمِهِ And when Moses said to his people, وَإِذْ قَالَ عِيسَى بْنُ مَرْيَمَ يَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ إِنِّي رَسُولُ اللَّهِ إِلَيْكُمْ When Jesus said, O children of Israel, I am the prophet of Allah to you. But this man, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I notice in the Quran, maybe 360 something times, Allah used the word qala in the imperative, kul. Allah mentioned to the Prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, 365 something times, say this. He's not speaking on his own. Allah's telling him what to say. Kul Ya ayyuhan nas, inni rasulullah ilaykum jami'a. Oh mankind, I am the messenger of Allah to all of you. That's who he is. He's the messenger of Allah to all of you. Therefore, the imams at every masjid have to be the imam for everybody in the masjid. He's not the imam just for the men. He's the imam for the men and the women. He's not the imam just for the elderly. He's the imam for the elderly and the shabab, the youth. He is the imam for everybody. So my community has changed over the years. The demographics and my own masjid has changed. When we started our masjid 30-something years ago, we had 25 members, 25 African Americans. African Americans in my masjid was 100% of the total population. Over the years, it's changed. Average Juma in my masjid, 1,300 people. And the African Americans, maybe 20%, 25% of the community. So I am the imam for all of them. And so as different ethnicities came, different nationalities came, I reflected in the board. So I have, on the board, first of all, I'm gonna let you know that our masjid is woman-friendly, sister-friendly. You told those masjids, you better respect us. Sisters say, Imam Siraj is with us. So on my board, my wife is on the board, and she's smart. And you tell her I said that. My wife is smart. No, really, seriously. So we have sisters on the board. And also, as different ethnicities came, I would take one of them and put them on the board. We have a sizable community from Bangladesh and from Guinea and Guinea and Senegal and others. So we reflect that. So when we started having a number of brothers and sisters from Bangladesh, I went to them and said, I want to have a dinner for them. I had a dinner just for them. Find out what is it that you need. What are some of your concerns? So I go to the different people in our masjid, different ethnicities, to find out what are their concerns, because I'm not the imam just for the African Americans. I'm the imam for the entire community. The Prophet was like that, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh, and brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. I got to talk to you today. I ain't in a hurry. So you keep your eye on him. When you see him give me a note, you go like this. No. You okay? You watch him. Keep your eye on him. I know you like him and love him. Yeah, I like you, I love you. But I got to talk to the people, and I'm going to talk as long as I can. Would you allow me to do that? Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, أن امرأة سوداء كان تقوم مسجدا. There was a black woman who used to clean the masjid. And the Prophet missed her. فسألوا عنها. So he asked about her. He was like that. He's always concerned. They were making salat and he missed Thabit ibn Qais. Where is he? Asked about him. He's always looking in the community. He knows people. He didn't see her. He asked about her. قالوا ماتت. They said she died. He said, why didn't you tell me? Now, I can see, a person died. Well, we don't want to disturb the Prophet. We don't go disturb him. So why didn't you tell me? It was as if it was something insignificant. And then he said, Faduluni, show me her grave. And he went to the grave and he prayed. Yusalli alayha. He prayed over her. And then he said that these graves are like dark. And based upon my dua for them, Allah gives them light. So he's always concerned, not just, he was Arab, but he's concerned not just for the Arabs, he's concerned for all of the people in his jama'ah. Inna hadhi ummatukum ummatan wahida wa ana rabbukum fa'budu. This ummah of yours is one. We sit here today at this conference, this ummah is one. The diversity is great, but it's one ummah. We ought to be concerned about everybody in the ummah, everybody. So this is the way he was, Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. You want to hear something interesting? I said to you, how many languages are on the earth? I said, how many? 7,000. Jesus, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam, is beloved to us. What language did he speak? Aramaic. You say Aramaic. How many people speak Aramaic today? A couple 100,000 maybe? What language did Musa speak? Hebrew. How many people in the world speak Hebrew? A couple million, a few million. But Arabic. Isn't it interesting? I was in South Africa, attended a conference, and it was time for Maghrib. So we broke for Maghrib. And I'm always excited to pray behind the Imam, Maghrib and Isha prayer, to listen to the recitation. And the brothers in Sudan have a good reputation of beautiful recitation of Quran. So when they called the Iqamah, they pushed the young man, about 17 years old, to lead the Salat. Permission to be honest? I got an attitude. Why you got that young buck leading the Salat, all these gray beards, these old sheikhs? I want to hear from that. I don't want to hear from that guy. He led the Salat. His recitation was so great, so magnificent. I was so pleased. I said, I'm going to wait for Isha just to pray behind him again. Isha came and they didn't let him lead the Salat. They let a 15-year-old lead the Salat. So I got an attitude again. I'm from Brooklyn, right? I had attitude, man. What are you doing? This guy was so good. Right? This young man was better than the other one. And when the prayer was over, I got them together and I was talking to them. I asked them, were they Hafiz of Quran? They said, yes, they had memorized the Quran. I said, how many years did it take you? One said 3 or 4, the other one said something like 5 years. Then I asked them this question. When you're reciting the Quran, do you know what you're saying? They said no. These two men, Hafiz al-Quran, memorize the entire Quran, but don't even know what they're saying. All over the world, millions of people learn the Quran and many, many more parts of the Quran. And a miracle of the Quran is that people memorize it and don't even realize what they're saying, Arabic language. So brothers and sisters, let me get to my main point. Sometimes we can misunderstand when we see an ethnic masjid, but only one kind of people go from a certain country. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it happens to be in a neighborhood and people, they speak the same language. And I've been to masjids like that. Every once in a while, I'll leave my own masjid and just go to another masjid, just pop up. And there's a masjid in Brooklyn. I would go there sometimes, brothers and sisters from Bangladesh, and I would go there not announcing who I am. And then one of them would see me and say, Imam Siraj is here. Imam, could you give us a talk? So I go all over, and I like to go to different masjids, and we should do that every once in a while. We should go visit other masjids. Those who go to a masjid where they're African Americans, or go to another masjid to, get a chance to know one another, lita'arufu, to know one another. Now, the crux of what I'm going to say it now. An imam in New York, Imam Talib Abdul Rashid, he's the imam of MIB, Masjid of Islamic Brotherhood in Harlem. He told me that he was invited to a national Muslim organization's meeting. And they wanted him to come and see what they were doing and get some input from them. So what they did, they put on the board priorities for this National Muslim Organization. If you're an organization, you got to put priorities. What are our priorities? And they put 1 to 10. Most important priority, number 1. Then number 2. Then number 3, all the way down to number 10. Which is the least priority? 10. I said, Imam, what do you think about that? Imam Talib said, you know, that's really interesting. He said, what you have as priority number 1 in your community is priority number 10 in my community. And what you have as priority number 10 in your community is priority number 1 in my community. It don't mean that they're racist or we are racist. It means we have different priorities. How many of you ever heard of the Congressional Black Caucus? The Congressional Black Caucus is black African American legislators looking out for the interests of African Americans. That's fine. Do you know what the motto of the Congressional Black Caucus is? This is the motto. Black people have neither permanent friends nor permanent enemies, just permanent interest. Ain't about enmity, it's about interest. So sometimes when you're dealing with Muslims, what you may perceive as racist or racism isn't that. It's priorities. We have a community here. We have priorities for our community. It may not be your priority, but it is the job of the imam and the board, the leaders, the president, the executive directors. It's their job to make sure everybody's okay. You okay? I'm okay. How we doing with time? Okay, good. Now, I said I studied demographics. Do you know which community is growing the fastest in the Muslim community? Latino community. 6% presently of the Muslim Ummah in North America, Latino Americans. But 1/5 of the converts in Islam, Latino Americans. One of my best friends, Fletcher, Mujahid Fletcher from Houston, has an organization called Islam in Spanish. I love him. I have been to his community many times, and I think it was 12/16 that they opened up a masjid for the first time in Houston, Texas. Speak Spanish. It's good. We ought to help them. We ought to help them in whatever they need. I've done fundraisers for them. I've visited them. I've talked to them. And I'm saying, brothers and sisters, the one thing I want to leave you with this is that we have to be sensitive to one another. Really. In fact, I have to admit that the conferences now are better than they used to be in terms of diversity. There was a time, a mass conference or ICNA conference or an ISNA conference, hardly you see any black faces. Now you see them, look around. Well, not a whole lot, but it's more. We're doing better, right? We're not doing better. You want us to do better? We good? So I'm saying a lot of time it's about understanding. I'll give an example. I was in Washington, D.C., Howard University, traditional black college. And I did the Jummah prayer. And some of the African Americans there came to me and said, Imam, we want to be honest with you. We're thinking about starting a black MSA. So first I was like, I don't like that. But then they told me why, the justification, why. And he said that oftentimes in these meetings, these national meetings, some of our agenda is not addressed. So we need to address our agenda. That's why we have the organization MANA, the Muslim Alliance of North America, because there are some needs that African Americans have, and we have to address those needs, and other people have different agendas. They're not bad people, they're good people. Young brother, I used to go to Washington, D.C. a lot. Whenever I went there, some young Muslims, teenagers, after the program would take me to one of the Muslim restaurants, and we would sit there for hours talking, so I got to know them. One of those brothers named Ali, he had moved to California, and recently he came to visit me. I was happy to see him. He said, Imam Siraj, I want to let you know that I hate going to Jummah prayer. I said, what? I hate going to Jummah prayer. I said, why? He said, because they don't relate. They don't relate to me. How many of our children are saying that? They may not verbalize it with you, but I'm saying they go there, they sit down, and and the imam is not talking to them, not addressing them, not reaching them. So now, next thing you know, you don't see him anymore. In my masjid, Fajr prayer, I can tell you the hundreds of people, I can tell you where everybody, almost where everybody is, right? I'm standing behind Sheikh Hassan from Morocco. He's a Hafiz, he leads the Salat. To my right, Mohammed Boy from Guinea. To his right, Mohammed Bari from Guinea. Sheikh Uthman from Sudan. Musa, African American. Khalil with his 3 sons, African American. Abdul Rahman, he sits in a chair, African American. To my left, Fatih from Egypt. And Mohammed from Mauritania. And back of him, Mohammed, Mauritania, the dark-skinned one. Behind him, Mohammed, Mauritania, the light-skinned one. And over there, we have Brother Kamal from Bangladesh and his son. So lately, I haven't been seeing his son. So I went to Kamal, I said, Kamal, what happened to your son? He's always there for Fajr. He's not there anymore. There's something wrong. You ask. And when you're sensitive, you notice a change in your community. What happened to Kamal? What happened to the masjid? And you know something, brother and sister, can I be frank with you? There are 2 things, the sign of the health of a masjid. Number 1, the youth. If you see a decline in the youth, your masjid is declining. Number 2, converts. Go back to the early generation of the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him. All of them were converts. Come to Islam. They weren't born into Islam. So I asked him, where's your son? He said, Imam, it's a problem. So what's the problem? He's telling me about the problem with his son. I said, bring him, I want to talk to him. So my point is this, brothers and sisters. Number 1, my major concern, you gotta care. You gotta care for every Muslim. I give you a couple examples and I'm finished. How blessed it is to be a Muslim. How blessed. Let me tell you something. How many of you are reverts or converts like me? Raise your hand. Turn around, look at that. So let me ask it another way. How many of you were born to Muslim parents? Raise your hand. Look around. I want you to look around. Look around. You see that? So if you want to have a healthy community, you got to go get the people. They're out there. You have to be concerned enough. Let me tell you something. See, be careful of, those kafirs, man. We don't want nothing to do with those kafirs. Really? Can I tell you what the prophet said? Peace and blessing be upon him. He said that there was a prophet that was beaten by his people so much that he began to bleed, and he wiped away the blood from his face and said, Allahumma ikfir li qawmi fa innahum la ya'lamun. Oh Allah, forgive my people because they don't know. These people don't know. Yes, there's some of them, they are snakes, but the majority of them, they don't know. And you study the history of the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, how many people used to oppose Islam wind up becoming Muslim. كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا. You were enemies. You were enemies. And Allah turned your heart and you became brothers. Amr ibn al-As, on his deathbed, he's crying. I'm watching him watch that. You don't think I see him? I'm watching him. Say, I know what that means. Okay? I love you, man, but okay? You know, he's crying, right? He's facing the wall away from the people. Amr ibn al-As, he's crying, and his son comes to him and says, yeah, Dad, you know, you did good work. And then he turned around to the people and said, I've gone through 3 stages in my life. Stage number 1, I hated the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him. If I could, I would have killed him. Had I died in that stage, I would have gone to hell for sure. And then I went to the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, and said, stretch out your hand. And I withdrew. And the Prophet said, why you withdrew? He said, I will become Muslim under a condition. He said, what condition? That my previous sins be forgiven. He said, don't you know that when you become a Muslim, your previous sins are forgiven? When you make hijrah, your previous sins are forgiven. When you make hajj, your previous sins are forgiven. So I took shahada, and he said that I love the Prophet, no one that I love more than him. And had I died in that stage, I feel reasonably sure Allah would give me Jannah. Then he said the 3rd stage, he said, I did things, and I understand what he meant, meaning that we're not sure after we become Muslim, we're not sure, we do some things, we think, we pray Allah forgive us. And this is the point I'm going to make. We want to really get hold of this unity, this elusive unity, right? It's like, how do we get it? And this is what I want you to do. I want you to make an effort to reach out to other Muslims. Go visit them in their masjids. Just a salat here and there. Our brotherhood as Muslims is so great that it's even beyond the grave. And let me give you an example and then I close out. Do you realize from Quran and Sunnah, every once in a while the people of Jannah will be able to see and speak to the people of hellfire? You agree or not? If you agree, raise your hand. If you're not sure, raise your hand. Good. Let me give you a couple examples. The people in Jannah will look down at the people in hell and say, مَا سَلَكَكَ فِي سَقَرٍ. What has gotten you into the hellfire? قَالُوا لَمْ نَكُن مِنَ الْمُصَلِّينَ. We're not those who used to make salat. How dare you? How dare you not make 5 prayers a day? How dare you not get up for Fajr? Who you think you are? And when the Prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, was given the commandment 50 prayers a day, he said, فَرَجِدْتُ بِذَلِكَ حَتَّى مُرَدْتُ عَلَى مُوسَى. And I returned with it until I met Moses. He ain't got no argument with Allah. Allah told him 50 prayers. He didn't argue, and he went back until Musa said, إِنَّ أُمَّتَكَ لَا تُتِيكُ ذَلِكَ فَرْجِتْ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ إِنَّ أُمَّتَكَ لَا تُتِيكُ ذَلِكَ. Go back to your Lord. Your ummah can't do that. The Prophet respected Musa. He go back. Allah reduces it. He come back. He said, no. He reduces it. He come back until finally it's 5. Listen to what Musa said. فرجت إلى ربك فإن أمتك لا تطيق ذلك. Go back and ask your Lord to reduce it. Your ummah won't be able to do that. Was Moses right? Can't make 5 prayers a day. In the hell, I didn't make salat. You better. Let me tell you something. Do you know that education is compulsory in the United States? You know that? You got to send your kids to school. It could be a public school. 87% of the population go to public school. It could be private school. 10% of the population go to private school. It could be homeschooling. 3% of the population homeschooling. If you don't send your children to school, you can go to jail. It's compulsory. This is my problem. This is my problem. Every morning, that mother tells that kid, get up. You got to go to school. Get up. Get dressed. You got to go to school. But they don't do the same thing with salat. Allah going to ask you on Yom Al-Qiyamah about your salat. وَلَمْ نَكُوا نُطْعِمُ مِسْكِينًا, and we didn't feed the poor. It's an obligation. You have to do it. There are poor people, not even around the world. There are poor people right in our neighborhoods. We don't feed them. All right. All right. You let him do that to me? You let him do it to the sheikh? All right, listen. Okay, listen. I'm finished. I am finished. But, don't clap. Don't clap. Because I'm almost finished. No, listen. Really, I got to say this last thing. To me, this is the most important thing. I want to show you the extent of our love for each other. I want you to picture yourself in Jannah. Because I told you every once in a while, you see something the people in Jannah can communicate with the people in hellfire. And think about you in Jannah, man, chilling. You made it. All the suffering you did in the dunya, you made it. And listen to this. Muslim Hadith, volume number 1, Kitabul Iman. So the people in Jannah are looking down at the people in hellfire and listen to what they say. ربنا إخواننا كانوا يصلون معنا وتحجون معنا وتصومون معنا. Oh Allah, our brothers, they used to pray with us, meaning they prayed in Jama'ah. Not at home, they prayed in Jama'ah. They used to pray with us. They used to make hajj with us. They used to fast with us. Anybody know that hadith? So the person and people in Jannah will see the people in hellfire. If that person is in hellfire, who put him there? Who put him there? Who's the only one who can assign someone to hell? Allah. So I'm saying, Allah's going to say, I put them there. You don't know what they used to do after the salat, after the hajj. You don't know what they do. Man, they're muflis. They kill people. They did that. I'm thinking Allah's going to say that. So they said they're begging for their brothers, our brothers. You know what Allah will say? Akhriju minha min araftum. Take out of the hellfire those whom you recognize. Allah is great and merciful. Let us be merciful to one another. Assalamu alaikum.
The first question we'll get started is, how do we convince some of our community leaders to be more inclusive and open to new people of different demographics coming to the masjid and seeking leadership?
Brothers and sisters, really, communication is the key. Let me tell you something that I learned from the Quran. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You're speaking to the elders, you have to do it with respect. And Allah says that He put it this way in Quran, اذهبا إلى فرعون إنه طغى وقولا له قولا لينا لعله يتفكر ويخشى. You two, Moses and Aaron, go to Fir'aun and say to him gentle words. Perhaps he would receive admonition for Allah. So your job is to give the message. You go to the leaders of the masjid, you talk to them, try to reason with them. And so we can do, brothers and sisters. You can't make them, but just try to reason with them.
Okay, the next question, how can we help our community be more accepting of interracial marriages?
Interracial marriages is tricky. It's tricky. I've been dealing with this case for many, many years. This is my personal opinion. If an Arab wants to marry an African-American man, and the parents are against it, try to convince them. Try to get someone to convince them, an imam or a friend or an uncle. If they are against it, my position, don't do it. Let me tell you why. Even though the root of it may be racist, maybe. The Prophet was asked, أَيُّ عَمِلِ يَحَبُّ إِلَى اللَّهِ قَالَ الصَّلَاةُ عَلَى وَقْتِهَا ثُمَّ أَيُّ بِالْوَالِدَيْنِ. What deed is most loved by Allah? Pray on time. Then what? Obedience to parents. Sometimes your parent may be looking out what they believe is your best interest. Not that the black man or the young man is bad or anything like that, but maybe you have too many problems if you do. Sure, you say, if you trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can say that. My recommendation, if your parents are against it, I know parents who said, if you marry him, we're going to disassociate ourselves with you. Don't do that. Because marriage is what? Sunnati, my sunnah. To obey parents is farad. Try to convince them, but if you can't, don't break up the family. That's my recommendation. Because you don't have to marry that person, you can marry another person. So again, people have different opinions and I respect that, but that's my opinion.
How can we encourage...
I know a case. I know a case in England. I met a young man and woman who got married. I think the sister from Pakistan and the African Caribbean brother. And the parents disowned her. And they had a baby. And the parents, they never saw the baby, their own grandchild. Just a lot of trials come with it that I don't think we should do personally. Would you like for me to say more? Or we good?
You got time. The next question is, how can we encourage our masjid boards to be more open to inviting and empowering youth to play a role in the masjid leadership?
Yeah, this is boy, it's a tough one. I did a program for the oldest masjid in Detroit. The oldest masjid has two meanings. Number one, it's the first masjid. And this masjid in Detroit was the first masjid. The second meaning is literally, this masjid is called the geriatric masjid. The average age, I kid you not, the average age in that masjid, the average age for a worshiper, 80 years old. 80 years old. I don't think it would be hard to convince that board, we need to get young people here. You think? Brother and sister, everything is communication. لا تجادل أهل الكتاب إلا بالتي أحسن. Don't argue with the people of the book in some ways that are better. ادفع بالتي أحسن. Respond in a better way. It's trying to be consistent. The constant dripping of water on a stone will drill a hole in the stone. Not a tornado, not a hurricane, but a drip. You be consistent, persistent, you make dua, talk to the board, get others to talk to the board. If you call me, I give you my number. I shouldn't have said that. Try to get a hold of my number. And I will help you to talk to, sometimes they need a senior to talk to them, and you're the shabab, what you got to say. Sometimes we have that, but you ask people like myself, Imam Zaid Shakir, Hamza Yusuf and Sahib Webb and others, we will help you to work on that particular masjid. Okay? I promise you.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair. One more question. Coming from the perspective of someone who has had a negative experience at the masjid and they've been discouraged from attending again due to their race or their spiritual status, etc., how do they find it in themselves to give it a second chance?
Yeah. You see, if you can't make it in that masjid, come to New York City. You know how many Muslims in New York City? About 1,300,000. Over 400 masjids, 35 full-time Muslim schools. So I'm saying to you, one of the solutions, come to New York, we'll take care of you. The other one is not to give up. If you can't go to that masjid and make it too difficult for you, then go. You have the right to go to any masjid. So go to a masjid that's more friendly for you, more suitable for you, more to your likings, and that's fine. And brothers and sisters, I say I make dua for every one of you. I love you for the sake of Allah. Please, please continue to grow in the Islam, study, read, learn, visit masjids, and may Allah bless you with your struggles in your cities. Assalamu alaikum.
Jazakallah khair.